Hello, people. Hello, Africa. How are you all doing? I hope you are doing great, right? Um, in today's video, I'll be talking about the cooking gas business in Cameroon. As you can see, I will be doing some kind of like slideshow on PowerPoint. It's kind of like a presentation, okay? So if you're new to this channel, please don't go anywhere. Keep watching. Let's discuss the cooking gas business in Cameroon. Now, this is some kind of business where a lot of people have asked me questions like how much do you need to start this business, like is this business profitable in the first place in Cameroon, like where can you start this business. So I did this presentation to answer these questions because you are all my favorite people, okay? So the first thing we need to let's start by defining what is the cooking gas, or in another word, it's called LPG, which is liquefied petroleum gas. Okay, liquefied petroleum gas is cooking gas. So what's the definition of this? It's a flammable mixture of hydrocarbon gases, including propane, butane, propylene, butylene, and isobutane, that's stored as a liquid in tanks and gas bottles. LPG is often used for domestic cooking and outdoor grilling. Okay, so if you're in any urban area, I'm sure you must have seen some gas cylinders, and it's stored, like a liquid, but of course it's gas. It's liquefied petroleum gas. That's what we call cooking gas. So that said, we go to the next slide. In Cameroon, the value chain is actually you have production slash importers. That's the value chain. Let's see how everything works. So liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG, or cooking gas, is imported into the country or is produced. Like for example, you have Sonora and like Trades. These are the major players in Cameroon that produce or import this. Okay, so Sonora is having like 20% of the market share, and then you have Tradex and other smaller players. Now, the next value chain players, we have bulk transporters, and in this case, you have Camship, Camrai, and SCDP. SCDP is actually Société Camerounaise des Dépôts Pétroliers. So these are the big players that transport this cooking gas in large quantities. Okay, so you have Camship, Camrai, and SCDP that does this. Then the next people in the value chain is the marketers or filling stations, like the people who do the filling, like they fill them into the bottles. We are going to look at how many of them there are in Cameroon, but we have about 12 in Cameroon right now. Like, you're going to have different types of gas cylinders in the market. So we have the marketers, they are called the marketers. They are the ones who do the filling into the bottles, into the various different types of cylinders that we have, and for consumption. Now, and then we now have cylinder distributions. Okay, these are now smaller people who now carry the cylinders or the gas bottles from the fillers or the filling stations to the retailers, which is the next stage here. And then, of course, lastly, you have the customers. So the customers exchange these bottles at the retailer. Okay, so now when you go to the nearest shop or to the nearest petrol station, you go there when your gas is finished. You give the empty gas bottle or the empty gas cylinder, and then they give you now the one that has already been filled. Okay, so this happens at the level of retailer. So anybody who does that is a retailer, and the retailer gets it from cylinder distribution, who gets it from the marketers or the filling stations, and this filling station gets their LPG from bulk transporters, who in turn get it from production or importers. Okay, so that's just like the value chain. I just wanted us to have this into context. Okay, now still at the level of the value chain, this is how it works. So you have production slash importation, bulk transportation, and then cylinders enter the market at this level. Okay, so now you have investment in and marketing, filling, and safety of own brand cylinder. So you have different players here that do the filling, and then you have cylinder distribution. So both exclusive distributor and wholesalers do the distribution, and then you have retail slash cylinder exchange points. This is where it happens, and then the consumers. So if you can see, the cylinder recycles from the consumer back to the filling station, front and back, as you can see here. Okay, guys, if you are having any questions on this, please, you can contact us. The numbers are on the screen. I'll be able to share more insight. But remember, if you contact me on my WhatsApp, I am going to charge you a consultancy fee. Okay, that's of course normal. I don't know why a lot of people contact me and they get mad when I charge them a fee. So if you don't want to do that, you can drop me your comments in the comment section below. I will answer your question. I'll do a video to to respond to your question, and that's going to benefit the whole community. Now, remember, I said there were about 12 marketers, and these are on this slide. You're going to have the various marketers and the market share that you have them in the country in Cameroon. Now, the highest I think is SATM. If you're in Cameroon, you'll be used to SATM cylinders, okay, or they call them gas bottles, but cylinders, gas bottles, same thing. So SATM is one of the biggest. Like, they have the highest market share, which is about 26.9% market share of all the cooking gas that we have in Cameroon. So they actually do the filling. They have their own gas bottles, and it's like they are one of the biggest players. Okay, and then you have Afrigas, Tradex, Total, Camgas, Oil Libya, Local Gas, Green Oil, Bocom, Infotech, Star Gas, Coley, and so on and so forth. So on this table, if you take some, you can pause this video and then you study the figures. Okay, I think the next biggest is Afrigas with 15.3%, and then you have Tradex, and then you have Total. Those are like the four major, and then of course Camgas as well. Now you realize that if you go to buy gas, you'll be asked to exchange the exact bottle that you brought, or the exact cylinder that you brought, because these cylinders are different, and each marketer has their own cylinder. Okay. Now, the next thing we should be looking at the filling facilities. Now, the highest person that has is SADP. Remember, I already said SADP is also into bulk transportation, but they also have one of the highest market shares when it comes to filling. So this is where you have filling stations in Douala, Yaoundé, Gaoundéré, Maroua, Bafoussam, and then Garua as well. Then you also have local gas and SATM that are also into filling, and they have a very smaller percentage share, as you can see here. Okay, now if you go to consumption, this should interest anybody who wants to do this business as well. I can say in Douala is the highest town that consumes LPG, followed by Yaoundé. These two towns are highly, I can say, urbanized areas, and they consume the highest. Douala consumes 39.9%, and Yaoundé 32. No, Douala consumes 39.9 thousand tons, and Yaoundé 32.4 thousand tons, which is 44% and 35%, as you can see here. Okay, so that's the market share. So if you want to start this business, I think you should be looking at Douala, because Douala, as you can see here, has one of the highest consumer base in the country. All right, then as you can see here as well, it goes right down to Southwest. Southwest has 10%, and then this is the percentage consumption as projected to 2030. How it's going to go? Okay, you're going to see here that we have like the projection to 2030. So this table is for that. Now, I did a small calculation of the capex. That's if you want to start this business, what you're going to need. First of all, you will have to create your company, which is going to cost about 500,000 francs, and then you rent some space. The calculations here are done for a year. Okay, let's say you get some space, which is going to cost you about this, and then refurbishments about 1 million francs, computer and furniture, software, security cameras, and then I also said, okay, let's say you want to buy some bike for delivery, one bike and a small truck for transportation of your items. And that is like your total capex, capital expenditure that you want to, if you intend to get started for this business. And as I said, this is just some estimated figures, but we can do a business plan that will fit exactly what you need to get started. You must not rent space this much. I was just doing this for, you know, for a business that's about to start, thinking that they can get space for this amount of money. But you must not start with logistics as well. There's about 10 million here that can go off the plan. So it just depends on how big or how small you want to start. But if you contact us, we're going to do some kind of like a business plan for you that's going to fit your budget. Okay. And then now for operating costs, I did an estimated staff cost for the year. And then purchase of cylinders. Remember that before you get started, you must purchase some cylinders. So that has also been factored in here. In this business, your cylinders are going to be your major cost, like your major asset, because that's what is going to be exchanged. And you will buy them from the retailer, and you'll be the one to maintain them and all of this for their safety and everything. You will be in charge. Okay. Now the cost of the gas itself is about that averagely. Different marketers have different costs, but averagely it's about that 5,800 francs. But if you want to, but in the business plan, that if you need a business plan, there's a more detailed analysis when it comes to this. Now, utility bills 600,000, fuel and maintenance if you are running a fleet, and then taxes. This is also another estimate, and then of course miscellaneous costs. Now, what we are saying here is that if you spend this and then you sell 4,800 bottles per year, you will be making a 9.28 million francs every year. Okay, these are just some high level figures, but if you want to get started, you need us to do a real detailed business plan. We already have that, so you can contact us. The numbers are on the screen, and we are going to get you started. Of course, as I said earlier, I will charge you a consultancy fees. Okay, so if you want to contact me one-on-one, put that in mind. Okay. Of course, then let's look at some challenges for this business. Some of these businesses have some challenges, and one of the challenges is poor inventory and monetary system. Now, if you want to start this business, you would want to do you want to have a proper inventory monitoring system, because it has to do with trading of bottles. Okay, so whatever you're doing, you'll be counting stock, you'll be valuing stock, and so on and so forth. Now, the next challenge is theft from workers and external theft. So to counter that, you can install security cameras, and of course, that's going to deter any theft or any thief from stealing your product. Okay. Now, of course, another challenge is taxation. Of course, a lot of people start and they fall into the hands of taxation, and this is just a simple thing you can just need to handle. Look for a cabinet or somebody to handle your taxes, and then of course, if you're unable to make enough sales, of course, sales is a challenge in every business. There is a lot of people into the business, so it's not a new business. You're going to have concurrent, or what can I say, you're going to have other people who are into the business, and you have to compete. Competitors are going to be there, so you have to compete. Okay. No, now what I'm saying is that if you want to make more sales, you can hire good marketers, give them targets, introduce loyalty schemes, etc. So, guys, that was basically the cooking gas business sector in Cameroon. I hope this video was resourceful. As I said earlier, if you want to do this business, you can contact us. We are going to do a more business plan, a detailed business plan. We have the figures already, depending on where you want to start, but we are going to charge you a fee for that. Okay, so contact us if you may, and I'll always respond to that. If you are new to this channel, please make sure you click on the subscribe button, and don't go away without liking this video if it was resourceful, and also share. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.